Offensive lineman Issac Seumalo reveals the Pittsburgh Steelers have a problem at their quarterback position. So, the Steelers this season went into it with Kenny Pickett as a starter until he got injured and then Mitchell Trubisky took his place. He did not play well, he got benched, and then Mason Rudolph took his place from there. They won 3 games in a row, made the playoffs, lost in the first round. So, the Steelers have a problem at the quarterback position because their third string quarterback did better than the rest of the quarterbacks they had on the roster, and that's just not a plan for success. It would also be foolish not to recognize that throughout the NFL, the quarterback position in today's game is very, very good. And you need one of the top tier quarterbacks in order to be a playoff team, but not just even a playoff team, if you want to even have a chance to win the Super Bowls. Making playoffs is nice, but when you can't win a playoff game in the last 7+ years, then you have a problem. So the Steelers, if they want to do anything other than just make the playoffs, other than get a winning record, then they need to look at outside options or even the draft. So you look at this team, and Issac Seumalo agrees with the exact same thing that I'm saying, that the Steelers have a problem at the quarterback position that they need to get solved. So here's his quote on the quarterback situation heading into next season. The quarterback situation needs to be figured out. That's how the NFL is. We need to have solidarity. There is one way or another. Wherever it goes, you can't win in the NFL without that. End quote. So he didn't specify exactly what he meant by it, but obviously you could guess what he meant. The players probably feel a certain type of way that throughout the week, throughout the season, they just don't know who's going to be the quarterback. They don't know who's the guy at that position because they went on, they saw Kenny Pickett, they saw him get injured, they seen Mitchell Trubisky struggle, but then they saw Mason Rudolph come in and be a solid guy for them. And maybe they're questioning if Mason Rudolph's the guy of the future, but they just don't know who the quarterback's going to be and if it's the right guy. You see all the teammates like Deontay Johnson coming out and saying that they kind of want Mason Rudolph to be the starter next season. You see George Pickens' comments on social media about Mason Rudolph as well, calling him the GOAT and stuff of that nature. So you just don't know who the guys want to be the quarterback, or if they even think that they know who they're going to be blocking for. Like, for example, Issac Seumalo. He's the offensive lineman. He's the guy who looks back at the quarterback. He's kind of blocking for him. He's protecting them. But if he doesn't know who the quarterback is going to be next season, how is he supposed to do his job? Because obviously you're going to go out there, try to block for whoever who's behind you, but you kind of need to know who's going to be the captain of the offense, and you want the right guy to be there. And not just that, you need the guy to be there and you need them to be the right guy. Also, you're trying to win in the NFL because Issac Seumalo, he came over from the Philadelphia Eagles. They literally made the Super Bowl the year before he came over. So he has that experience of winning the playoffs, and him coming over to the Steelers, he's probably expecting the same thing. Even though he came over the big contract, he's still coming over expecting to be a successful team, win some games, make the playoffs, win some games in the playoffs, and perhaps win a Super Bowl. He didn't just come over for the money. He came over to try to win as well. So obviously he wants that quarterback position to be figured out. Because when he was with the Eagles, you look at it, they had Jalen Hurts, one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and you knew he was the guy. You knew that he had that potential to carry a team. So him coming over, he knew that his quarterback was Jalen Hurts, who was a superstar, and kind of solidified himself in the league last season before Issac Seumalo came over. So he knew his quarterback, he knew that he was good, he knew he was one of the top ones, and that's why he's saying that in the NFL today, you need one of those top quarterbacks to basically be able to do everything on the field, and he had that. So that's why he's talking like this, because he knows how important it is for a team, and he saw it firsthand with Jalen Hurts. But on the other hand, you also see it based off of back in when Carson Wentz and Nick Foles was there in the 2017 championship run, because you look at it and you kind of see it. Issac Seumalo, he was on that roster when they went on that Super Bowl run. And everyone always looks at it like, oh, you don't need a quarterback. You just need someone to play the right way, not get turnovers and things of that nature. Just look at Nick Foles. He won a Super Bowl doing that. No, times have changed. The past is the past. Yes, you could look at Nick Foles and say he was able to manage and execute everything he needed to do in order to fill in for injured Carson Wentz during the 2017 Super Bowl run, but his career after that did not take off. Yes, he was able to do it for that one season, but that's not a resume of success for a whole franchise. And even though Issac Seumalo was on that roster and he saw someone manage them to a Super Bowl, he knows that the time has changed in the NFL today. You look around the league, you see all these powerhouses of teams with all these quarterbacks who are able to carry their team, like Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow did it for those seasons that he was healthy. Josh Allen, even though he's not been able to win in the playoffs that much because he keeps getting stumped on the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. But you look at those top quarterbacks. You also look at some guys in the NFC. You see Jordan Love now coming up, rising up, and able to win a playoff game in his first season as a starter. Also, you look at other quarterbacks around the league where you at least know that their team has a quarterback, even though the players on defense or the players around them aren't really helping them. You know at least they have the quarterback of the future who could get it done if their team was better. For example, like Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence maybe in the future. And even though Brock Purdy seems as though he's going to be the guy in 49ers, there's some question marks about him, but at least they know that they kind of have their guy. Steelers, on the other hand, they're in the kind of bunch of the NFL where they don't know if their guy is on the team, if their guy of the future is on their team, like Kenny Pickett. Is he going to be the guy moving forward? Is he going to be the franchise? We just don't know. Some of us, we want to see another year, but then some of us, we don't have the patience. We've seen him already for 2 seasons. We've seen he's just kind of a mid-level quarterback, but then at the end of the day, maybe he gets better. Maybe he takes that 3rd year jump. We just don't know. But me personally, I would like them to see if they could search out other options at the quarterback position through the draft. Because I believe quarterback, just like Issac Seumalo said, you need that position for solidarity in the NFL. And you look at all the powerhouses in the league, and I just don't think Kenny Pickett is going to be able to match up with the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen's, Joe Burrow's of the world. Yes, the Steelers defense always carries, but I just don't think Kenny Pickett is going to be able to do that. So the outside options, looking outside and who's available, I just don't see many in free agency though. When you look at it, you look at maybe Russell Wilson, he may get cut from the Broncos, but I just don't think he's the answer either. He's getting older, he just has not been the same for a while now. Even when he was on his final year with the Seahawks, he just didn't look like the same quarterback, even though his stats are pretty good, even though his stats this season was pretty good as well with the Broncos. He just doesn't look like the same quarterback that can actually help your team and prove to be one of those top quarterbacks in the league. You look at the outside options like Jacoby Brissett. I've been seeing a lot of people say the Steelers should sign Jacoby Brissett, be a veteran, come in, maybe help this team win. No, that's just not an option. There's no way the Steelers should move off Mason Rudolph for Jacoby Brissett. What's Jacoby Brissett going to do that Mason Rudolph can't? He's done nothing in this league. He started some games. He's just an average quarterback and a backup quarterback at this point in his career. There's no point of signing him for no reason. Might as well just keep Mason Rudolph in the building and make him be your backup quarterback if you're just going to get Jacoby Brissett. So let me just shut that down right away. I've seen many people say that. I don't know why. I've seen many people say Jacoby Brissett should be a Pittsburgh Steeler next season. It just makes no sense. So, yes, the Steelers, they have a problem at the quarterback position. Hopefully they turn to the draft to do so. I know their pick in the draft is not good, but they need to be able to hit on a quarterback and be able to move over into the future and kind of build off of this young core that they have. They have some playmakers on this team. They have some superstars in the waiting, like George Pickens. They have some other outstanding players that are just not getting utilized because they don't have that quarterback that's able to kind of elevate everyone around them. Once you have that quarterback, this team will be so much better, and maybe then we'll start winning some playoff games. But until then, it won't happen, and it's going to be the same level of mid that we have seen for the last few years. So, once again, just like Issac Seumalo said, shared his general thoughts about the quarterback position and the importance of selling on an answer. Whatever the answer may be, he also understands his lane that he's in. He says this: my thing is to focus on the thing you can control, my play, my effort, and my attitude, doing my job to the best of my ability. Whatever else happens, happens with doing as much as I can to make my play great. So, staying in his lane, but he does speak out and talk about the quarterback position needing a big upgrade this offseason, or at least finding out who their guy actually is, whether that's Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, or someone else. So, with that being said, that's the end of this video. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you think the quarterback position should be filled this offseason? Do you think they should just run it back with Kenny Pickett? Do you think they should run it back with Mason Rudolph? Do you think they should look to the draft and draft a guy? If you do, let me know who you think they should draft. Do you think they should go in free agency, just say Russell Wilson is cut, sign Russell Wilson, or someone else like Kirk Cousins, trade for him? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content, analysis, and reports. Like the video, click that bell down below so you never miss out, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.